You wonder why some people get a very serious or a fatal attack of the coronavirus and why some people don't. The World Health Organization has said that the ones who get a serious or fatal attack are those whose immunity has been compromised, such as the older people or the people with diseases such as diabetes and cancer and so on. There are many who do get infected with the virus but show very mild symptoms, and those who don't show symptoms at all. So what can we learn from the corona pandemic? Scientists say that the coronavirus will simply not disappear from the earth in the future. It's going to be in communities, much like the flu or the cold and so on. So what do we need to do? We need to do two things. One, it's important to know that there is no magic pill. We need lifestyle changes to look at multiple aspects of immunity building, whether it's food, nutrition, exercise, stress, and so on. And the second thing we need to understand is that we need to keep educating ourselves so that our health and our children's health is in our hands, and not only look for vaccines or other kinds of cures. But all these great progenitors of medicine lived long before the age of medicine as business. Today it is only the traditional systems of Ayurveda, Siddha, naturopathy and so on, which have a more holistic approach and focus on building immunity and preventing illnesses. Allopathic medicine, which is much more popular today, has made amazing strides in curing many diseases, but it does not focus on building immunity or preventing illnesses, because the pharmaceutical industry and the corporate hospitals are run basically on profit-making modality, and preventing illnesses does not add to their profits. So we need a health system that brings immunity center stage. How do we build our immunity? Our ability to prevent ourselves from falling ill and fight infections is called immunity. Nature has given us this wonderful innate ability to heal ourselves. Our bodies can heal themselves. But we need to support it with the kind of food and lifestyle that suits us. During this pandemic is an ideal time to look at some do's and don'ts. There are no magic bullets, there are no pills to pop for immunity, but we need to learn as much as we can and put into practice what we learn. There is a great deal of research by many scientists and even by Nobel laureates that make it clear that immunity building through vitamins, fresh foods, etc. is possible, and that it is not hugely expensive like modern healthcare. We have been too much with a world that celebrates the big and the huge, and we have neglected the micro and the powerfully tiny. Life began as tiny monocellular organisms. We too began our lives as invisible tiny sperms and eggs. Many of the diseases are caused by bacteria and viruses which are invisible. Our bodies are made of trillions of microbes, almost 10 times more than human cells. And we need the micronutrients and enzymes as essential builders of our immunity too. These are some of the more important vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients. There are others too. There is no need to worry or count all of these. Only when we fall ill or feel very weak, it is advisable to do a complete blood test and understand what micronutrient deficiencies we may have. All we have to do is to give importance to having balanced meals. Micronutrient malnutrition is very common in urban areas as well as in affluent countries. Now, there are certain deficiencies in some micronutrients which are more common in India than others. And some of them can cause serious illnesses, and some of them just give us a certain dullness or fatigue, or not let us have a full sense of well-being. Omega-3 fatty acids are found in many fish, avocado, chia seeds, flax seeds, ghee, and so on. Very often, vegetarians have low omega-3, and it is ghee that has given vegetarians the omega-3 they need. Ghee is also one of the important ingredients in Ayurvedic medicines. Omega-3 fatty acids are known to fight inflammation, autoimmune disease, and respiratory diseases including asthma, alleviate depression, ADHD in children, and mental disorders, reduce risks of heart disease, metabolic syndrome, and cancer, and improve bone health, skin health, and also sleep. So all you have to do is have a couple of teaspoons of ghee with your lunch, which makes it tastier, or get it from any of these other forms, other sources. If you cannot get omega-3 from any of these sources, you can always get cod liver oil or fish oil in the form of capsules. Vitamin D is called the sunshine vitamin because our skins produce this vitamin for us in the presence of sunlight. Although we are a tropical country, we find that 80% or more of Indians have a deficiency in vitamin D. And this is because our brown skins don't allow fast absorption of sunlight. We need to get at least 10 to 15 minutes of sun exposure every single day. We should see that at least 50% or more of our bodies are exposed to the sun. And the best time for sun exposure is around 9 o'clock in the morning or around 4 to 5 in the evening every day. Those who work inside offices for 10, 12 hours or more They are the ones who end up having vitamin D deficiency, and very often they don't discover that they have it for a very, very long time. Vitamin D helps us fight colds, flu, pneumonia, and respiratory diseases, and so it is of particular importance to fight COVID-19. It also helps to fight against 16 kinds of cancers, tuberculosis, Alzheimer's, and age-related degeneration, type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, and other lifestyle diseases. And vitamin D3 is more effective than vitamin D2. Respect your body as well as the universe by spending some time under the sun every single day. Vitamin C is one of the most important nutrients for immunity boosting. But more than 50% of Indians are deficient in this vitamin. The importance of vitamin C of protecting us from colds and flus is well known. What is not so well known is that we need vitamin C in much bigger doses than the 100 milligrams per day, which is prescribed as a daily requirement for us. We said we need vitamin C in bigger doses than what is normally prescribed. So how much vitamin C do we need every day? Vitamin C is an essential vitamin, which means our bodies don't produce it, and we need to take some vitamin C every day. About 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C would be good to have every day. Any excess you may have simply gets excreted out of the system. And there are some doctors who prescribe a much higher dose to cure certain illnesses. For strong immunity building, it would be good to have at least 3 of the following. At least half a kilo of fruits, papaya, oranges, guava, sapota, pomegranate, berries, etc. 2 to 3 glasses of lime juice without sugar, amla and a range of vegetables, or 1 tablet of vitamin C, 1000 mg with each meal, or certain Ayurvedic and Siddha formulations. Vitamin C is a very important nutrient to build immunity against respiratory diseases, and hence it is worthwhile to go into it a little deeper. How do we know that vitamin C is so important? Now, if we look at traditional medicine, if we look at naturopathy, for instance, naturopathy is a system of nature cure which recommends that we eat a lot of fruit every day, and most fruits have vitamin C in common. Many of us don't have the habit of eating much fruit every day, but just try having half a kilo of fruit every day for a week or so. You will see the difference that it makes to your body and your energy levels. Ayurveda is also the most ancient system of medicine in the world, which recommends fruits and also vitamin C wherever necessary. Amla and lemon, which are rich in vitamin C, are found in many age-old Ayurvedic medicines. Finally, we can also understand the importance of vitamin C from a whole lot of research that has been done in allopathic medicine. It is worthwhile going through some of the resources we present here. During the last several decades, we as adults, as teachers, as doctors, I think have neglected to inform and educate our youngsters about the importance of taking charge of their own health. So if we want to be responsible parents and teachers, let's start giving importance to educating our children, which will only come if they actually live it out in the home. It cannot come by just lectures and reading books. So we do hope that the immunity revolution is coming into the world.